It's coffee time, it's coffee time, it's the One Pot Chef drinking coffee in time. And that's still crap. Welcome to the final edition of Coffee Time for 2012, and possibly the final one ever if the Mayans have their way and the world comes to an end in a couple of weeks' time. But assuming that the apocalypse does not destroy us all in the next couple of weeks, Coffee Time will return in January with all new episodes. So if you'd like to ask me a question for the next episode of Coffee Time, simply leave it in the comments section below on YouTube. So let's get started with the questions. First one comes from Bell and Bean. And the question is, what type of camera do you use and what program do you use for editing? Just in case I miss the next Coffee Time, have a great Christmas. Oh, thank you very much. Okay, I have two cameras. Obviously, the one I'm using now is just the built-in iSight camera on my Mac. Just a little webcam. And for the cooking videos, I also use a Sony HD something or other. I can't remember what it's called. It's a high-end camera. It's really sort of specially designed for doing professional filming and whatnot, so I've got like a lighting rig and everything like that to go with it. I also have a little cheap hand cam, like a little flip cam type thing that I use when I'm out and about or at a YouTube gathering or something, so it's just easier than carrying a big camera. As for the software that I use iMovie 11 or 12, I can't remember. I think it's iMovie 12. The latest version, whatever it is. I'd use that because basically it's very easy to use and there's no mucking about or anything like that. It's just bang, transfer it in, cut it all up, shove it together, happiness prevails. Works for me. Next question comes from Prisnalita. I hope I've said that right. Have you been to Batam or Singapore and tried Silver Queen or Choco Mint? I've not been to Batam. I've been to Singapore many years ago, I think it was in the late 1980s. I don't really remember it very well. I do remember, though, that everything was really clean. There was really clean streets and everyone was really friendly. But I would love to go back to Singapore sometime. I haven't heard of Silver Queen or Choco Mint, so it must be something from Singapore. So I haven't tried those. Next time I'm in Singapore, I promise to look them up. Next question's from the Copycat Chef. Hello there. David, would you describe how you divide your time which is dedicated to running your channel, i.e. filming 10%, editing 20%, research 30%, social media, etc.? Good question. Filming would probably be about 20% easily, between sort of the cooking channel and the blog channel, obviously. Editing is probably another 20% as well. There's also social media stuff, which is just sporadically throughout the day. I don't even know if I could call it a percentage or anything like that, but I'm constantly checking Facebook and Twitter and comments and things like that when I've got a free moment. I tend to do a lot of research over the weekends for new recipes, sort of coming up with ideas and seeing what I can do with sort of what I happen to have in the kitchen, or if I need to go out and buy special ingredients. Then there's obviously paperwork and stuff because I run this as a business, so I've got to keep a lot of records for tax and things. So my time is pretty full, but yeah, percentage-wise, I have no idea. Like that's probably, I think I've accounted for maybe 50% of my time there, but yeah, it's a lot of work. So it does take some time to sort of get everything together, but it's well and truly worth it. Jack Wilkins. If you were a superhero, what would your name and power be? Oh, goodness. Well, I'm not enough of a superhero as it is. Recipe Man. Whip eggs with a single pound. I've no idea. I have no idea how to answer that question. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm enough of a superhero these days. I have no idea. Whispering Eagle. Have you managed to generate an income from doing the One Pot Chef, and if so, how does that work? I know you sell cookbooks, but the actual YouTube channels itself, do they generate revenue? Yes. Basically, yeah, obviously I sell cookbooks. I don't really make a lot of money out of that. They basically sort of just cover the cost of the printing, so I'm not exactly making a fortune out of that. But yeah, I get a percentage of income from the advertising that's around videos and things like that. It's if you wanted details about that, it's youtube.com/partners. I'm a member of the partnership program. I also joined a YouTube network recently, so makes things a little bit more complicated. But essentially, yeah, that's how I generate my income. So this is a business now, so I have to keep a lot of records, keep the tax man happy and my accountant happy, who insists on me having a lot of paperwork. But as I say, that's the kind of thing that comes with when you work for yourself from home. So yeah, so paperwork, yay. Raindrop Army, hello. Okay, questions. What else do you do besides cook? Have you ever broken a bone? You've probably been asked this before, but what is your favourite meal? And do you notice how different you look from your first video? Okay, what else do you do besides cook? Paperwork? A lot of people ask me if I have like other hobbies and things, but to be honest, these days I really don't have time for other hobbies. But I love to sort of go out and have coffee and spend time with my friends and family. I love to go shopping, even if I'm not actually buying things, just like to go sort of window shopping and whatnot. I read a lot. I like to sort of just concentrate on work and whatnot, because that is my fun these days, is making videos and all the stuff related to that. So that's my sort of fun these days. Have you ever broken a bone? Technically yes, technically no. I guess it depends how you look at it. When I was 13, I shattered the tibial tubercles below both of my knees in an accident. They're like sort of little cartilagey things that are just underneath the kneecaps, or just below the kneecaps. And so I ended up having to have those removed when I was about 16. I had to wait for my legs to finish growing before they could take them out. I've also got some ruptured spinal discs, which is why I've got a walking stick, because I can't walk properly. So, yeah, that's where my back issues come from. So I can't have that operated on, so it just has to sort of stay there for the time being. As for that, they're not really bones, though. So, yeah, I've pretty much broken everything that isn't a bone these days, but not actually any bones that I can remember. I don't think so. What is your favourite meal? It changes on a regular basis, because I'm constantly trying new things. I'm going, oh, I'm loving this, I'm going to eat this forever. And then I'll find something new and I'll go, oh, I'm eating this, I'm loving this forever. So at the moment, I think I mentioned this in a previous video, I've discovered this beautiful wonton soup at this little noodle place around the corner from my house. And I'm absolutely obsessed with it, because it's just so, so tasty. And I would love to be able to reproduce it, but I've had a rather checkered history with making wontons, so I'm still experimenting, but it's a beautiful thing. It's got little wonton wrappers with this specially spiced pork mince inside it, and it's served in chicken broth with bean sprouts and spring onions. It's absolutely divine. It's so, so delicious. Do you notice how different you look from your last video? I probably looked a lot younger, because I've been doing this for 5 years. So, yeah, other than that, probably just besides looking older and a bit fatter, I'm probably more or less the same. I must admit, I don't really go back and watch my old videos very much. I very rarely watch my own videos after they've been uploaded, unless somebody asks me a question about something that I literally can't remember because it's been so long since I made the recipe or made that video or whatever, so I have to go back and rewatch it. But, yeah, so I don't really notice much difference there. Next question from Barbie Girl 4034. Will you ever come to Europe? I'd love to see you here. I would love to come to Europe. I haven't been to Europe for a very long time. I'd love to do a sort of a, probably what most people would do in their sort of late teens, early 20s, doing like the backpacker type trip around Europe, but I never got to do that when I was in my late teens and early 20s, so maybe one day when the gods are smiling and my bank account's a lot healthier, I probably will do a nice little trip around Europe. It would be fun. I would love to go and visit all those wonderful cities and try all that amazing different food that I don't get here, so it would be great to try that. Next one from, what a great username, Elite Poo Sniff. Sex or food? If you had to choose one for life and never have the other again, what would you choose? Well, given that most people would starve to death without food, I guess the option would have to be food. But I guess it depends. If you were some kind of like a flesh-eating cannibal, I suppose you could probably go for sex. So, you could do that. I don't know. Why do I always end up with a cannibal reference in this thing? Yeah, I guess you'd have to choose food. Yeah, because, yeah, well, you could have sex for the rest of your life. Your life would probably only go for another couple of weeks or so before you eventually passed out into a coma and died. Xbox skills. What car do you drive and what would be your dream car? I drive, I think it's a 2001 Magna. It's an older sort of car, but she's reliable. It keeps me going. As for a dream car, I really don't have a dream car because I don't even know how cars work. Like, my other half is the car nut, and I'm just not. And the number of times he's tried to explain things to me, go, oh, I love this about this car because it's got a reverse flange with a magnetic containment field, and I'm there going, I have no idea what you're talking about. Like, really. Like, I have no idea what a reverse flange is, and I don't care. Like, it just, for all I know, you open the bonnet and it's run by Japanese magic. Like, that works for me. Like, that's all I need to know. I just need to know to turn the key and drive forward. That works for me. Yeah, so I have no dream car as such, but I do frequently tell my partner when he asks me that question, what's my dream car, it should be a 1979 Honda Civic in beige, mainly because I know it would annoy him. Next one from Xbox Skills. Do you have any gaming consoles? Okay, well, my partner has a PS3, but I very rarely play it. Because he likes to play all sort of car racing games and stuff, and to be honest, I don't have a lot of time to play them. I've got a Nintendo DS, or DSi, I think it is actually, which I have my crossword game and brain training and stuff to stop me from collapsing into a pool of my own goo, because my brain is falling apart, so that keeps it relatively healthy. Other than that, I don't really have any games. I've got like stuff on my iPhone and my iPad, but I really don't use them, either of them, for games much these days. I'm just sort of not much of a game person. Candy Cotton Clouds. Do you have any religion? No, I'm an atheist. Killing 4B Flowers. Hello again. Do your next door neighbours know you're the one pot chef? To be honest, I'm not really sure, because I don't really know my neighbours very well. I've only lived here for about a year or so and occasionally see them in the street and say hello, but I highly doubt it. I would have thought after this amount of time somebody would have said something by now or knocked on the door to sort of sniff out what I was cooking, so which is usually what ends up happening. So I'm guessing that they don't know. So, yeah. Okay, another one from Killing 4B Flowers. Have you heard from the homophobe who got all angry because of the half-naked guys on your fridge and you made a video about it? Never heard back from him after I put that video up, and that was about, oh god, must be 2 or 3 years ago now. Yeah, once that video went up, his channel mysteriously got closed down about maybe 2 days afterwards, because apparently he got a fair amount of attention that was clearly not wanted. So, yeah, I never heard anything from him ever again. But I'm betting he's still sort of smarting from that one. It's like, you don't make comments like that if you don't expect somebody to come after you. So I'm still very proud of that video. I really enjoyed that one. Oh, here you go. Does Nico get too excited when he eats food? Well, yeah, he does seem to get a little excited when he's doing his taste tests and whatnot at the end of his videos, doesn't he? And yeah, and you know what? He's like that in real life too. I know. I've had meals with him. Emily4444. What are your favourite foods of all time for entree, main, dessert, snack, and junk food? Okay. I'm assuming if you mean like if I go out to a restaurant or something. Okay, for entree, maybe garlic prawns or something like that, like a little serving of garlic prawns. I've always liked that when I go to a restaurant. For a main, you can't go past a good pasta dish. I had a lovely one when I went to Brisbane recently, which was this beautiful penne creamy pesto with roast chicken and avocado all through it, and it was such a strange combination, pesto and avocado, but it was so yummy, and I really enjoyed it, and I'm tempted to try and recreate it for the cooking channel because it was just beautiful. Dessert, got to be creme brulee. I had a beautiful creme brulee in Brisbane when I was up there. It was absolutely gorgeous with fresh vanilla bean seeds all through it. It was, oh, yum. Snack. Oh, goodness. Maybe a little wrap or something, like something with tortilla, because like I love a little wrap. Sort of, they're so filling. Even if you have like a little one, they're really quite filling. So it's good for a snack. And junk food, I love, and I haven't had it for a very long time. I really should indulge sometime. I love chips and gravy, or French fries and gravy, basically. If you're from Canada, I think it's poutine or poutine. Something similar to that, but without the cheese curds on. Basically just, yeah, chips with gravy on it. It's totally and utterly revoltingly bad for you, but oh my God, it's yummy. It's good in winter as well when you want to heat yourself up. Oh, Xbox skills again. Millwall or Leeds? Millwall or West Ham? Oh, okay, we're talking football teams, are we? I have no idea. But the fact that both questions start with Millwall, I'm assuming the answer is meant to be Millwall. Yes, Millwall for the win. I have no idea what that is. I don't know. My brain hurts. Wayne Hodge. What is a typical Aussie breakfast? Interesting question. I actually don't eat breakfast anymore. It's a really bad habit of mine. Funny, the only time I really tend to eat breakfast is when I'm travelling. But when I was in probably second or last year of high school, up until then I had breakfast every day. But when I got to about that point in high school, for some reason my body just started to reject the idea of breakfast. If I had anything, even just a light meal in the morning, it made me feel sick all morning, and I'm not sure why. And yeah, so I very sporadically have breakfast, but generally the standard Australian breakfast is probably cereal with milk and fruit maybe, or toast. Just toasted bread or crumpets or whatever, muffins. The whole sort of fried up breakfast isn't generally a common thing in Australia. People do have it now and again, and I tend to have it when I'm travelling because, to be honest, I can't be arsed making fried eggs and bacon and stuff in the morning. Like, I can barely get to the coffee machine. It's enough for me in the morning. But yeah, so generally it's just sort of cereal and toast or something light like that. Most people don't tend to go for the sort of heavy cooked meals in the morning, but I'm sure there are people out there who do. So I hope that answers your question. Gadgets forever. iPhone, BlackBerry or Android? Well, I have an iPhone. It's an old one. It's a 3GS, but still works nice and well. Best phone I've ever used. I've had a lot of them over the years. I've never used a BlackBerry, so I can't say I can't comment on that one. But I did have an Android phone for about 45 minutes before I took it back to the shop and said it was crap. I just could not stand it. It was just a really bad phone. I think I did a video about it on the blog channel years ago, but it was dreadful, and I took it back and ended up getting something that was kind of similar in design to a BlackBerry. I think it was a Nokia or something, and I was using that up until about 6 months ago when I got the iPhone. So, yeah. Gadgets forever again. What are your thoughts on Gangnam Style? Kind of getting a bit sick of it, to be honest. It seems to be popping up everywhere at the moment. They even, like, it's on the radio, it's on YouTube, it's pops up in ads on TV. They really publicised it in Big Brother in Australia this year. It's everywhere, and it was good at first, but it's kind of like going, okay, getting bored with this now, like, let it go. It's sort of the 21st century edition of the Macarena. It will eventually sort of fade into time and be seen as this sort of awkward, cringe-worthy thing, but for the moment it's still popular. Okay, so what's the next one? Loretta Tata. Hey David, do you like Asian food? If you do, what is your favourite? Also, would you ever travel to any Asian country and where? Thank you. I love Asian food. As I say, we've got this beautiful Asian noodle place around the corner, and they do all sorts of different things. They do Chinese and Thai, Malaysian type meals. Love Asian food in general, but I love Chinese food especially. I don't know, there's all sorts of different kinds that I like. Love sort of the sweet and sour pork, fried rice, there's this beautiful ho fun that they do at this noodle place with these beautiful flat Chinese rice noodles, and it's got a sort of a sweet soy sauce on it, and it's absolutely gorgeous. And it's served with veggies and bits of meat and whatnot. It's gorgeous. I've been to a couple of Asian countries, as I say, when I was younger. I've been to Singapore, and I think we briefly stopped in Malaysia, but that's about it. But I would like to do a bit more travelling. As I say, I've just got my new passport, so I possibly got an excuse to actually go travelling overseas now. So, yeah, I might just sort of make 2013 a bit of a travelling year, maybe, if I can swing it. It would be nice. It would be good to go and see a few exotic places. A pink gumdrop. What is your favourite character on The Walking Dead? Do you have any recommendations for other TV shows, as The Walking Dead season will be ending soon and I need something else to watch while I wait? Okay, favourite character on The Walking Dead? Good grief. I don't know, probably Daryl. Sort of, I don't know, there's something about him that's sort of, yeah, he's sort of the interesting character. Like, you expect him to be this dirtbag, but he clearly isn't, so he's an interesting character. Recommendations for other TV shows? Goodness gracious. Let's see, Dexter. Dexter is great. If you haven't watched Dexter before, start from the beginning. It is absolutely an amazing show. A serial killer who targets other killers is just, that alone should whet your appetite. What else is there? Oh, I watch a lot of TV these days, but I can never sort of pinpoint any particular recommendations. I love The Big Bang Theory. I think it's just one of the funniest shows on TV. A lot of people sort of dismiss it, but I think it's just genuinely very, very funny. And when it first came out, 5 or 6 years ago, it was the cream of the crop compared to some of the other comedies that started at the same time, and none of the other comedies that started at the same time are still on air, so it's clearly the winner on that one. I don't know, there's a lot of things. That's all I can think of at the moment. Next question from NWO Fighters. What's your favourite Lana Del Rey song? Lana Del Rey. I don't know who that is. Am I showing my age? I have no idea who Lana Del Rey is. Yeah. I don't know. Sorry, I'm sure her... I'm assuming it's a her, or is it a group? We'll assume it's a her. I'm sure her latest song is fantastic. I have no idea. Oh God, I'm getting old. ASMR Badger. What's your favourite English TV show and actor? Well, with the aside from Doctor Who, there's an amazing sitcom which I discovered a little while ago called Miranda, with Miranda Hart, which had me in absolute hysterics. My father was watching part of an episode by accident when he had recorded something on TV, and for some reason it recorded this part of this Miranda show, and he was telling me about how it was absolutely the funniest thing he'd ever seen, and he had no idea what it was. And after a bit of sort of jiggery-pokery, I discovered what it was, and I found it on TV and watched it, and it was absolutely hilarious. It was one of the funniest things. It's very much like that old-style English comedies from the 70s and 80s, so I love all that kind of old-time English comedy, so that's probably one of my favourite ones for the time being. So, yeah, if you haven't seen Miranda, look it up. It is very, very funny. Emily4444 again. What are you going to America for? You said in the video, if America works out, you may move there. What are you doing there? More taste testing videos, please. There's definitely more taste testing videos coming. I'm trying to record them as much as possible, but as I say, it means I've got to find time to actually do them. But I'm trying to get one out at least once a week. As for the America thing, I recently joined a YouTube network called Tastemade, which is focused exclusively on food and cooking videos and whatnot. And they've asked me to come over to Los Angeles in the new year to film some cooking videos for them. So I'll be going over there for a few weeks to do some recording at their studios. So I can give you more information about that later when it comes to hand. Shut up, bloody horns. Yeah, so yeah, that's coming up soon. As I say, I can't give away too many details at this point, but it's coming soon, and it's going to be very, very exciting. I'm looking forward to it. It'll be my first time coming to America, and yeah, sort of everyone who seems to go to America recently seems to want to stay over there. So I'm wondering if I will have the same opinion. You never know. Let's see. Next question from Willace the Clown. Would you try frog's legs? They seem weird but are really good. I actually have eaten frog's legs many, many years ago at a French restaurant, and they were absolutely delicious. It is a strange sort of thing. It reminded me very much of chicken wings, and they served it with a sort of a light garlic sauce, but it was really, really tasty. So if you're sort of open-minded and willing to try something different, it's definitely something to try. BW Solari, share your most embarrassing story somehow related to food. I'm not sure I have any embarrassing food stories. I'm trying to think. I don't think I have any embarrassing food stories. Not that I can think of. No. That being said, I don't have many embarrassing stories, to be honest. I'll have to think about it, maybe try again another video. I can't think of any, to be honest. Wendy2584, very random question. When going to the market, do you circle the parking lot for a close spot or just pull into the first empty parking space you see? I tend to try and park as close as possible, mainly because, as I say, I've got a back injury, so I can't walk that far these days, so I try to sort of not park like 4 kilometres away from the shop, so I do my best to try and get as close a spot as possible, but I'm not going to drive around in circles forever looking for a space. I just sort of usually sort of am fairly lucky and get a decent space, so yeah. Spazamaz, love that username. Do you prefer hot weather or cold weather, and why? Have a nice day, by the way. Oh, you have a nice day too. I definitely prefer cold weather to hot weather, simply because it's easier to warm up than it is to cool down. We've had some shockingly hot and humid days the last couple of days, and I have been just like lying there dying with a fan on and having like 4 or 5 cold showers a day, desperately trying to keep my body temperature down because it's just been absolutely horrific here recently. So we're only just coming into summer in Australia, so it's warming up and I'm not looking forward to it. I say bring back winter. All is forgiven. Loretta Tartar again. I always see you drinking bottled water in your videos. Do you not drink tap water? I hate tap water and I think they taste awful, so I spend a lot of money on bottled water. It's not so much that I hate tap water, is that I can't actually drink the local tap water here, because when I first moved to this area, I started drinking the tap water because I tend to drink a lot of water, and I started getting shocking pain in my teeth and gums, and it turned out that there's something in the local water supply that really sets off my teeth and causes me a lot of pain. And as soon as I stopped drinking the local water and went over to bottled water, it stopped instantly. So I drink bottled water and I use bottled water for brushing my teeth and whatnot. So yeah, so that's what I do. Talking about water makes me thirsty. Yeah, but yeah, I just had to sort of go over to that, so I didn't have much of a choice, and luckily the bottled water around here is fairly cheap, so it was certainly cheaper than getting one of those big sort of water dispenser things, and to be honest, I didn't really want to get something like that because I don't really like refrigerated water. I prefer to just have it at room temperature, so yeah, so bottled water works for me. Ponga, I hope I pronounced that right. Have you ever visited the How To Basic channel, and do you ever eat anything on a stick because of a video called Cuddle Sticks? I did a reaction video to Cuddle Sticks many years ago, and it took me a very long time to have anything on a stick again after that. Yeah, How To Basic channel, I can't say I've ever heard of it. I'll have to look it up and have a look and see what's on there. Sounds interesting. Fraser Trench. Are you good at anything like singing, music, sports, games, anything in particular? No. I have absolutely no talent whatsoever. When it comes to singing, I sound like a goose farting in a fog. That can be proven by the people who were with me for the YouTube karaoke in Brisbane a couple of weeks ago. Music, again, no real talent. I failed the triangle in school and was a terrible disappointment to my parents. Sports, look at me for crying out loud. Do I look like a sporting person? Games, I could probably sort of whoop you in Monopoly. I'm kind of ruthless in that. Other than that, yeah, no, I can't say I have a whole lot. I think video making and cooking and whatnot are my sort of major talents, really. Except for maybe eating and, yeah, and complaining. What would your job be if you didn't have YouTube? Probably still in retail, I imagine. Most of my background has been working in shops and retail environments of one form or another, and working in restaurants and cafes and delis and things like that. So probably still doing something like that. Fraser Trench again. Did you ever think all these people would have enough questions to last you 18 shows that over an hour long each? No. To be honest, Coffee Time is a bit of the surprise hit on this channel because I never expected Coffee Time to be anywhere near as popular as it is. I certainly never expected it to go fortnightly. I always figured I'd do it monthly for a few months and then people would get bored with it and that would be the end of it. But, well, we're over a year now into it and it's still going, so that's a good sign. I love the fact that people are still coming up with questions for me every couple of weeks, so that works for me. Ninja Dude 1021, hello there. I have been trying to make the perfect chocolate chip cookie dough to make the chocolate cookie dough bites, which is a cookie dough but covered in chocolate. Do you have a safe to eat dough that you can eat right away? Good question. If you live in the United States, you've probably got, because I'm not sure where you live. Let's have a quick shifty if it says on your profile or not. Oh, shifty means, you are in the United States according to this, so that's a good sign. Okay. What you need to look for is something called pasteurized eggs. These are eggs that are safe to eat raw because they've been through the pasteurization process like milk, so they get rid of all the excess bacteria and things in them. So you need to go to the supermarket and find pasteurized eggs, and you simply use a regular cookie dough recipe and use the pasteurized eggs in place of regular eggs. If you like chocolate chip cookies, you should definitely try out my recipe on the cooking channel. That dough would be perfect for making chocolate-coated cookie dough bites. Yeah, so give it a go. Let me know how it goes. And if you can't find the pasteurized eggs, try and find powdered eggs. They should be available in the baking aisle of your supermarket, and just follow the directions for making them up and then use them as you would regular eggs. So hopefully that'll help you out. Maggie12310. David, what will you be cooking for Christmas this year, and what are your favourite Christmas dishes? Are you planning any special Christmas recipes this year? I love your cooking channel. I think it's wonderful. I'm not going to tell you what I'm making for Christmas recipes this year for the cooking channel. There's a big surprise. I'm doing lots of little different things. I'm doing 6 videos, one of which is probably already up by the time you watch this. So I'll be doing 3 on one week and 3 on the following week. So I'm doing a couple of traditional ones and a couple of not so traditional ones. I'm not doing any of the full meal type things simply because I just didn't have time this year. It was too complicated, and to be honest, getting into this time of year, it's too hot to like cook a turkey or anything like that. So I was trying to do sort of more of like little treaty things that you can do as gifts, or little snacky things for parties. So I think you'll be happy with it though. What are your favourite Christmas dishes? Oh goodness. Probably my favourite is this thing that my father makes, which doesn't actually have a name. We just call it the sausage thing. And basically what it is it's sausage meat, and it's rolled and coated in this dry stuffing mix, and it's formed into a sort of a lumpy looking log. and then it's baked, and then it's served cold in slices, like with turkey and ham and stuff, because we serve all of those things cold on Christmas Day in our family. And so, yeah, you get this lovely cold, seasoned sausage slices. It's gorgeous. That is my favourite thing about Christmas. I love it. What else have we got? What will I be cooking for Christmas this year? Goodness, I don't know what I'll actually be cooking, because I tend to go over to my father's place and he tends to do most of the major cooking, but I tend to do things like roast potatoes. I do these beautiful beef-infused roast potatoes, which I think I've done on the cooking channel a few years ago. And I'll be doing a few little snacky things along the way as well, but I can't tell you what they are because they're coming up on the channel, so... Next question, Mrs. Fufu. Hello, Mrs. Fufu. I love your username. Can you please say hello to my daughter, Carly? She would love it if you did. She's 10 and thinks it would be amazing coming all the way from Australia. Hello, Carly. How are you? Yeah, coming from Australia, and give your mum a big hug for me. Can we also send some more taste testing items from the UK? Absolutely. I'd be very honoured for you to send some more things. I love the things you sent to me last time, so lovely. So yeah, please feel free to do so. Licho3440. It would be interesting to hear what the food prices are like in Australia. How much does a bottle of milk cost, a loaf of bread, a kilo of meat, etc.? Okay, a bottle of milk, well, milk is about $1 a litre these days, so usually they come in 2 or 3 litre bottles, so $2 or $3. A cheap loaf of bread, just regular sandwich bread, you can usually get for around about $1, and they go up in price up to about $5, depending on sort of whether you want the fancy bread or whatever. Meat varies depending on the quality. You can get beef mince or ground beef for around about maybe $10 a kilo, roughly. Chicken breasts are usually around $10 or $11 a kilo. Just cheap rump steak is usually around $12 to $15 a kilo. Yeah, so hopefully that answers your question. Plates 81. You said you had some dental surgery recently. I'm going under the knife in a few days to get rid of some wisdom teeth. Is that what you did too? Kind regards from Sweden. Actually, I had my wisdom teeth out many years ago. I recently broke a couple of teeth, my back teeth. Basically, it was related to that water supply thing. It was causing damage to my teeth, and I actually cracked 2 of my back teeth, and one of my incisors split. So I had to have the 2 back teeth removed because they were pretty badly damaged and it was difficult to repair them, but I had the incisor repaired. They managed to save what was left of the tooth and put a porcelain cap on it, so now it looks normal again. So yeah, it took a bit of work, but it's all done now. So, and I had very little pain from it. I had a very good dentist who knew how to inject me up nicely, so that was good. Hopefully you're doing well with your wisdom teeth, because I know how painful that can be. I had all 4 done at the same time, but I did it in hospital, so I didn't have to sort of be awake while they ripped my teeth out. So hopefully yours wasn't too painful, and I hope you recover fairly soon. Miss Spark 111. Please make a dark chocolate light and airy pound cake, please. Have you seen my chocolate pound cake video on the cooking channel? As I do it with a liquid cocoa base that is absolutely gorgeous, and it is very light and it's very moist. So you should definitely go and check that one out. Let's see. Rickster77. When you started, did you have reservations about getting in front of the camera, or were you comfortable with it? I can't say I had many reservations, simply because I was very ignorant of what YouTube really was, to be honest. I never really thought about how popular YouTube was, because when I first started, I did my first cooking video without any real sort of belief that I was going to do more than probably a couple of them anyway. I figured it would be something that I would get bored with and people wouldn't watch anyway, so it was really more just something that I was going to share with some family and friends, but it sort of took off and I never really thought much more about it. So yeah, I've always been sort of relatively comfortable doing public speaking and talking in front of an audience, and I think standing in front of a camera is pretty much the same. So like, as I say, I'm just sitting here talking to a camera right now, but it feels like I'm talking to a group of people because, yeah, I don't even think of it as looking into a camera. I'm just sort of talking and sort of assuming there are people sitting there listening to it, even though at this exact moment there's no one actually watching this. I haven't even got it on the internet yet, so... But it feels like I'm talking to people live, so... And I have no issue with that. Motor City James 100. Does the American media, movies, music and television have a large impact in Australia? Yes, it does, actually. There's quite a fair amount of impact. American music in particular is very popular in Australia. A lot of the TV shows in Australia are all American things. There's very little Australian content coming through that's actually of a decent quality these days on things like TV. There's very few Australian comedy shows these days. Most of the Australian dramas these days are either recycled cop shows or sort of soapy type things. There isn't a whole lot of original content coming out, although occasionally something good comes out. It would be nice if there was a bit more sort of focus on Australian content, and like a few years ago there was a lot of, it was quite skewed the other way. There was more Australian content and less foreign content on TV and music and whatnot, and now it seems to be going the other way. So who knows, maybe in a few years time it'll all reverse again, who knows. Last question from Kling Hannah. Are you looking forward to the end of the world? The Rapture was fantastic, wasn't it? I can't wait to laugh at the idiots this time round. Yes, the end of the world is nigh, apparently. I think it's the 21st of December. The Mayans are going to invade or something. I can't remember, to be honest. I think it's all it takes is one idiot to misinterpret something from a zillion years ago, and suddenly the world's coming to an end because the Mayans said so, when really nothing like that ever occurred. So, however, if the world does come to an end, boy, will my face be red. Still got my sunburn from Brisbane, but not as bad. But, and again, if the world does come to a crashing halt on the 21st, what do I care if I've got a sunburnt nose? Alright guys, that brings us to the end of Coffee Time for 2012. So please get your questions in the comment section below on YouTube, and thank you very much for all your support of Coffee Time and the OnePotChefBlog channel in general over the last year. I look forward to boring you senseless with more of my codswallop next year. Alright guys, lots of love to you all. Keep out of trouble, have a fantastic Christmas, and I will talk to you in the new year. Bye guys.